Okay, so what we're looking at is the new valve that's been mounted to this 2x4 here. And one thing that I've already done that I didn't actually film because my GoPro died on me was the valve came with these 3 male-to-male fittings. So I went ahead and wrapped Teflon tape around them and put one in each of these holes here. So this is your hot water input, this is your cold water input, and then this is the mixer that just kind of shoots up and goes into the shower arm. So there we go. Now it may look like I'm going to attach a female threaded fitting to screw onto these, but actually I'm not. Instead I'm going to sweat them. I'm going to solder them in. You can actually stick a 1/2 inch piece of copper into here and solder it, and that will create a more leak-proof, more foolproof seal than any threaded connection would ever dream of. So again, like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert these PVC lines to copper, and they don't really look very well lined up right now, but fortunately there's a little bit of give to them so they can flex around a little bit. So I'm going to basically cut them off right here, remove this whole assembly and throw it in the garbage, and then the ShareAlike fittings will convert it to copper. The copper will travel up here, and then with the help of 2 elbows and a couple of short lengths of pipe, we will finish our connections here, and then it'll be just another copper pipe going all the way up here to the shower head. So now before I do any of this, what I need to do is I need to turn off the water supply to the house. If I don't turn off the water as soon as I cut these lines, it's going to be water spraying everywhere and we'll be in Agony City. Not only do I need to turn the water off, but since it's pressurized, I need to go to preferably the lowest point in the house, which is one of the outside spigots, and depressurize the lines. So let's go do that. Okay, now that our water is off and our lines are no longer pressurized, I can use my handy dandy PVC cutter tool here to cut these 2 PVC lines. Let's do it. I'm going to try to get a nice square cut, so I'm cutting right along that elbow there. Okay, that wasn't exactly a square cut, but we can fix that a little later. And now for the hot water line. Okay. And this piece of junk is now garbage. Basically what we need to do is we need to clean these pipes a little and kind of make a more square cut with no bumps or burrs in it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, now it's time for the ShareAlike fittings. So these are the ShareAlike fittings. There's actually a lot of drama behind these fittings. Some people say that they leak, some people say that they're great. According to the building codes, these are safe to put behind a wall, but there are some conspiracy theorists out there who believe that plumbers try to dissuade customers from using these ShareAlike fittings so that they can charge them more money to solder the lines. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea, but in doing the research that I've done, I think it's safe to use these behind the wall, and hopefully I won't come to regret that decision. So here we go, let's put them on. Okay, ShareAlike fittings are on. Now it's copper time. We'll start with cold water line, and it's not quite as lined up as it should be, but I think it'll still be okay. Go ahead and insert that into here. Actually, nope. I almost goofed up big time. I need to clean this one too. Get my sand cloth. Alright, a nice clean end of our copper pipe here. Go ahead and push that into place. Alright, looks like that one is good to go. So at this point, we need to cut this copper pipe off at just the right spot so then I can attach this elbow to it, followed by a short length of pipe that'll go between the elbow and the cold water input on the valve. So what's the best way to do that? Well, maybe I can just kind of imagine that this is like that just by putting that there. It looks like, I think the copper pipe's going to come into about here. So I think right about here is where I could cut it off. So of course I'm dumbass, didn't get a pen. So if this is my elbow, right there, and I'm coming up to about here, that means I should cut her off right about there. Okay. Cut her off. I'm going to use this handy dandy close quarters pipe cutter. They do make these pipe cutters in all different shapes and sizes. The bigger ones have more torque, so they're easier to use, but in situations like this where you don't really have a lot of room to work with, it can be useful to have one of these close quarters pipe cutters. So I'm using it. And let's line that up. And if you've never used one of these before, it's pretty nifty. They have a circular blade on them, and so you just screw that tightly and then kind of roll it around the pipe a few times until you start to feel it getting loose, and then you screw it tightly again and then roll it around, and you basically just repeat that process until it comes free. Twist and turn. That's all there is to this job. Twisting and turning. Okay. I think maybe one or two more turns ought to do it. Oops. And that's what happens when you're dumb like me and you don't catch the pipe.